Hey, welcome to Let's Grow Together with Kalyan, Shruti and Richa. ये पॉडकास्ट सीरीज बनाया ही गया है टू लर्न फ्रॉम द इंडस्ट्री एक्सपर्ट्स. ये ट्विटर स्पेस सीरीज को पॉडकास्ट में कन्वर्ट किया गया है सो एवरीथिंग इज रॉ एंड अनफिल्टर्ड. You will hear the audience asking questions to the guest as well. कि ये podcast series is going to be super insightful. So come with an open mind and I promise you बहुत कुछ सीखने मिलेगा. So let's start the podcast in 3, 2, 1. Hey guys, we are back and it is the episode 8 where we are gonna talk about how redefining, like, the whole agenda is ki how healthcare is being redefined by artificial intelligence. So we have Nivedita, but before we come to you, Nivedita, I'll go to my amazing co-hosts and let me just introduce them. So we have Shruti with us, and Shruti is a marketing specialist and consultant. Then we have Richa, who is a full time PR executive and a part time memer. And so before I go to Richa, I'll go to Shruti first. So Shruti, uh, you went to a vacation place, right? कोई एक जगह थी, right? कर्नाटका में that you went. How was it and कैसा था सब कुछ?
Hey, hi Kalyan, how are you?
All good, Shruti.
Okay, yeah, I last time I went to Chikmagalur, that is nearby Bangalore only. So it is a drive, like it is a 6 hour drive, something drive from Bangalore. So I went over there for a trek, and I went with a few friends of mine. So they came to Bangalore just with me to go on that trek, and then we went over there. That was like a the trek was of 25 kilometers. So we stayed over there for overnight, and then we did that trek. So definitely it was very amazing. Actually मैं बहुत टाइम से ट्रैक करना चाह रही थी, बट जब से मैं बैंगलोर आई हूँ रिसेंटली तो जा नहीं पा रही थी. So I was very much excited for it, and this was my third trek. So I am looking forward to go on more treks.
That is great. And how's your health? Everything good? Sab theek hai?
Yeah, yeah, yeah. All good.
Great. Meanwhile, we'll go to Nivedita. Hi, Nivedita. How are you?
Hi, Galyan, hi Richa, hi Shruti. I'm very good. I'm just under the effect of weather.
Yes. I remember you calling me in the morning and हमने जब conversation की, Nivedita was like कि मेरी आवाज़ ठीक है ना? Will it be okay if I, like, उनकी गला बैठा हुआ था and everything, but it sounds
Yeah.
great, right, Shruti? No issues, right?
Yeah, 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 very much. Hi Nivedita.
Hi,
I'm
hi.
very happy to have you over here with us today.
Same here. I'm very much happy to be a part of it. And thank you, Kalyan, Richa, and Shruti for organizing this event. And thank you for all this amazing listeners joining today. And I'm very excited for the session.
And
We are
Nivedita,
too.
your voice is coming pretty amazing. Like Kalyan told me this morning कि Nivedita ko like she's going through some problem. She's not able to speak properly, and then we felt very bad that we are making you speak today. But again, as of now, so I can hear your voice is very good. So it's coming great now.
Yeah,
Thank you for joining us.
yeah. Chai is doing its job.
So great. So we'll start with it, Nivedita. And the thing is कि सबसे पहले तो हम जानना चाहते हैं your name and your like the designation says that you are a clinical
Hmm.
AI specialist. Now that
Yeah,
is a big word, to be honest. What
yeah.
exactly is it?
Sure, sure. So, giving a quick intro about what I do. I am the founding team and the director of clinical operations at Logy.AI. I come from a healthcare background, and what I primarily work here as a clinical AI intervention specialist. So, what I basically do is I identify a problem in a healthcare. I look into the execution and finally adoption of AI-based healthcare solutions. I primarily build medical logic of the digital AI solutions, as into converting the medical data into relevant information and then driving insights out of it. I kind of have from my if you want to know about my background, I actually have worked in space of entrepreneurship at Triple IT Hyderabad, and I have built many innovative AI-based solutions at Logy.ai, And with Intel's AI initiative, that is also Hyderabad-based collaboration between Intel India and government of Hyderabad. Uh, Very humble to share that I'm the co-creator of world's first AI-based oral screening solution, which is now also a patented technology. With this, and we have also, developed multiple solution, which is in process of getting patent. Uh, I have impacted, like we have impacted lakhs of life, globally, and in helping people getting aware of their health conditions and seeking treatment. So that would be a bit a background about myself. Yeah.
That is amazing. So we have got Richa back. Hi, Richa. How are you? All good? Abhi, ठीक है?
Hi Kalyan, can you hear me
Yeah.
guys?
Okay. Yes, yes,
Yeah,
we
hi
can.
Yes.
Kalyan, finally. Hi Shruti, hi Nivedita,
Yeah.
Dr. Nivedita.
Hi.
So I'm great, and also stop calling me a celebrity when you yourself are a celebrity. We all know who you are, Kalyan. But thank you so much, and this feature meant a lot to me. I mean, going on Arjun's Snap story was a big thing for me, obviously. Thanks a lot.
That is great, Richa. So, meanwhile, we were talking to Nivedita and we were asking ki how, like, her designation ka matlab kya hai, and it was an amazing explanation. Nivedita, we would love to know how does a typical day for you looks like? Like, what time do you get up and what do you do? So, if you can just run us through your day, it will be amazing.
Sure. So, my not all days are very similar, but I do try to, follow one routine for most of the days. Uh, so I'm a yoga practitioner. So the moment I wake up, I go for my yoga classes. So before I was not a very, early person to wake up, and slowly I realized that the earlier you wake up, the more productive your day is, and more in control you are of your task, work, and everything. So I basically, work and then I go for my yoga workout classes. Post that, I sit for my, self-learning rituals that I follow, where I teach myself a new every day, something new that I would like to know. Sometimes it's very much related to our projects, and sometimes it's, related to something outside my area of work. Because when you are in a creative industry, you seek inspiration, you seek deep insights. So you have to spend a lot of your day, especially in field of entrepreneurship, when you are, working in field of product market fit at that stage of your startup where you're still exploring that side. You have to be a very deep thinker. You have to explore things. You have to understand human psychology. You have to understand various things related to healthcare. So I do spend a lot of time self-studying. Post that, I'll go for my work. We have a very wonderful office space. We, work over there, have a good time, chill. Of course, work is the 90% of the part. Post that, we are again, just uh, spend some family time with friends, watch a movie maybe. If it's weekend, just like normal people, It's just what I have realized is what really separates a focused person from a non-focused person, or you can say what separates from a more productive person to a less productive person is how you manage your time and your day. I'm not a perfect at it as of now, but yeah, I'm definitely trying to be good at it. And I absolutely love my job. I love what I'm doing. I love the decisions I took for myself. And the journey has been very beautiful, to be honest. Yeah.
That is great, Nivedita. So, meanwhile, अगर किसी को भी कोई भी question है related to this healthcare and AI in particular भी, तो they can ask the question in the comment section and also they can get up and यहाँ पे भी आके वो पूछ सकते हैं as a speaker. Now, I'll begin the question sessions, and the first question that I will ask you is a very simple one. and very straightforward one key. What is AI in healthcare and how it can, like it's very different to understand कि AI healthcare में कैसे आ सकता है. But if you can just elaborate and help us with that.
Sure. So, AI stands for, artificial intelligence. And AI is a technology just like other kinds of technology like IoT, blockchain, etc. Now, what stands with AI is, it has the capability to replicate human senses, as in a human can see, a human can talk, a human can, smell, a human can hear. And similarly, AI has those capabilities. So this is a technology that is coming up which can replicate human senses. And even, maybe in future we can see more things. So AI really, it has a lot of potential in the healthcare industry because we know that there's a lot of shortage of healthcare practitioners and paramedical staff in healthcare for care delivery, awareness, screening, monitoring, timely treatment or timely delivery of some kind of drugs. So how do we use AI to, have these certain applications in the healthcare industries to prevent diseases, detect any changes in patients' medical conditions, diagnose a patient faster, provide individualized treatments, and so AI basically, has this four kinds of applications. One is image analysis. That's what basically we do at Logy.AI. We are into image-based analysis and diagnosis. There is something called as speech recognition. Alexa is a very good example, or Siri. Then there is NLP, which is natural language processing. A good example is emails, auto suggestions, and then robotics. So in healthcare, uh, we are at two things. We are, seeing a great adoption in the healthcare industry globally. One is image-based analysis has picked up very fast. In image, we talk about radiographic images, um, freehand images that has been clicked by a smartphone, or any kind of diagnostic, or you can say the all the kinds of data that is out there, image based data in healthcare basically. And then robotics has also, it's also getting adopted pretty fast. So robotics is being used for either drug delivery or non-invasive way of surgery. So as and when we are moving forward, we are getting into non-invasive way of providing treatment and robotics. So what does non-invasive means? Basically, you try to do surgery in a way that you disturb the surrounding tissues in the most possible, in most possible harmless ways, so that less suturing is required. Healing speed is very fast. So robotics provide that kind of precision, which is far better than a human hand. So robotic is being, adopted at a very speedy rate in the surgical section of the healthcare industry. Uh, Basically, AI has, two kinds of adoption. One is where you are using AI to innovate something. For example, AI in radiology and X-ray. And then there is a process innovation, which means you are trying to help people to make the processes easier. For example, if we try to digitize a doctor's handwriting, so we know all over the world, every doctor has a separate set of handwriting, and patients face a lot of difficulties in reading those handwritings, right? So this is one good example of how we can, do a process innovation with help of AI. So yeah, does that answer you?
Yeah. Yes, yes, definitely. Yeah, Shruti, you want to go ahead? Yeah.
Yeah, sure. So thank you, Nivedita. Thank you so much for answering this. Actually, in the work that you are doing, the work earlier, which you mentioned about everything, I'm very much, there's something very impressive, to be honest. And the work is like amazing. All the thing, everything, the organization that you have built and the work that you are doing.
Yeah, thanks.
Actually, one thing which actually I was going through the website of your firm. And
Mhm.
also there is one thing written that you guys have built this without writing a single line of code. So that is something which I'm very curious to know. Can you please tell me that? How, like, how
Single
you
line
do
of
that?
code.
Yeah.
Okay. So basically, what we are trying to say is that we have a automated platform where
Mm-hmm.
so there is a process how basically AI projects are made. Okay. So what
Yeah.
happens is you identify the core problems and check
Mm-hmm.
how feasible it is technically. Once you understand that this problem is worth solving, now there is a formula how you understand how this problem is worth solving, which I'll go into later, maybe if we get dig
Sure,
into
sure.
deeper into it. Because in healthcare, identifying a problem is a big task, the
True.
problem that needs a solution, right? So then you kind of collect the data. Then once you annotate the data with help, so we have a very good automated system that makes data annotation very easy, developed
Okay.
by my wonderful tech team. Once this is done, you train the data set and you create an algorithm. And once the algorithm happens, you do multiple rounds of testing, right? Like validation. And after that, you kind of do the deployment of the AI model. So this entire process has been, made in a way that it's very feasible and it can be automated, and the steps follow very, one after the other. So we have built that entire system online.
Understood. So one more thing I wanted to know, like you mentioned about image-based analysis, which is growing fast, and then robotics also provide the precision and everything. A common use of AI in healthcare involves these NLP applications, which we use to understand and classify the clinical documentation, then getting incredible insights,
Mhm.
understanding the quality, improving methods, and better results for the patients. So, like you use your tool for, you use this AI for all of these things, like it can be used anywhere, or is there any specific type of
Sorry, I'm losing you.
domain in the healthcare? Yeah.
Sorry, I'm losing you. Can you repeat the question?
Yeah, so I was saying that you mentioned, no, that image-based analysis is growing very fast. Then robotics provide the precision, and you use this AI, which is a very common. The common use of AI in healthcare involves the NLP application, which we use to understand and classify the clinical documentation, as you mentioned. So, a few
Hmm.
things which I believe, which I understood, is that giving the incredible insights into understanding the quality, improving the methods, and better results for the patient. So you use this thing for, like, it can be used by any doctor out there, or is it something which can be used in some specific domains only?
Sure. So, if I have to, kind of segregate the applications AI into healthcare. So there are multiple ways. So I would, name it into five or seven kinds of use cases that needs to be out that, that has a direct application for AI, like a direct fit, you can say, right? So there are
Mm-hmm.
healthcare is like a puzzle, and most of the issue that happens with technology is we don't know which puzzle fits into which part. So, based on my
Okay.
experience that I have worked both at grassroots and even at tertiary health, systems, which is the top level. I
Mm-hmm.
realized that there are certain things that has a direct fit with the AI. So, to name it few is identifying population in need. We are a huge country. We have a lot of healthcare issues. Understanding which section of people in which part of the country need what kind of treatment or what kind of diseases are more prevalent. So, one would be identifying population in need. This is something AI can help us with. Monitoring in the sense surveillance, monitoring and understanding patient whether he is in ICU or he is at remote. So basically monitoring the health of a patient, monitoring vitals of patient, continuous like sugar levels or BP, which is very common today. Screening solutions. So we work on the spectrum of screening solution. We build screening solution. Screening solutions are, we need more portable screening solutions that can be used by people who, travel to various remote locations because we do not, so as per WHO, the ratio of a doctor to a patient is not, achieved in India. We are underachieved. So in these scenarios, building screening solutions that are cost effective is very much required. Consultation, online ways of consultation, advice, rehabilitation. So rehabilitation is again a very booming industry that is coming up. Rehabilitation for mental health issues, various kinds of disabilities. Uh, if you are trying to recover from any kind of a trauma. So these kind of things, rehabilitation facilities can come up with AI. Capacity building, as in, so, in India, the healthcare system is, very much scattered. So what happens is there is this chunk of people who are mostly, rural based, and they do not get the treatment they need. So
True.
government provides systems like community functionaries and ASHA workers who are not very well trained. So when we bring technology into such things, we can, help these community functionaries and build a better capacity for healthcare, access in remote areas. And again, will be counseling and follow up. So I would say there are multiple layers that has a direct fit into the technology.
Oh, thank you so much, Dr. Nivedita. I mean, you answered it wonderfully, and the fact that you are helping people out there in rural areas is also the best part of it right now. I'm like really curious to ask you this one thing that what all domains do you think AI will impact? I mean, domains in healthcare that would we can see the greatest impact of AI. Oh,
Sure. Yeah. So, there has been a lot of emerging trends in healthcare. If you see around there is this telehealth coming up, there is digitization, there is automation, terms like digital front door being used, which we use it very, nicely when we are presenting on a social media, but a lot of people are still not aware of such terms. I think we need a lot of improvement in healthcare, to be honest, from a country like India. And this improvement can happen if, we work at uh, basically at three levels, okay? If I put it out to you. So, so if you look at these three levels, there are three, circles around it. So the patient stands in the center. Patient is the, consumer, and we have a regulator, we have insurance, and we have hospital. Now, if you divide each of it, there are multiple areas where, we can see there are multiple domains where we can see there is a huge impact. For example, in community health, where I just discussed with you, related to ASHA workers or any kind of, a community functionary, clinician service, that is access to patient's history that can support doctor to take a decision faster. Volunteering services, which means, so there is, lack of integration of a lot of data with hospital systems. So a lot different hospitals have different systems. When we try to integrate all that system, we will provide a faster access and delay in, the usual delays that happen in emergency care. Rehab and wellness, like I said, there is a lot of things. Post-treatment, so, we know that after surgery, a lot of people go for skilled nurses facilities or behavioral health monitoring post surgeries. This is something that can really catch up well because people need home based care. Hospital operations, of course, like, admission, evaluation. So automating the entire hospital operations part is very much required. And still in India, not a lot of hospitals are, majority of hospitals are still not fully automated. Then there is something called as inpatient care where you kind of provide them with emergency admission, discharge, urgent care units, patient information. medical decision support systems that can actually help to take a decision for the patient as soon as possible without you have to wait for a doctor to come in. So, we are kind of empowering the nurses to tackle critical situations. Then there is something called as outpatient services. So these are the patients who are not who don't come into emergency and they just land in your hospital for a general checkup. So how can we, help these patients reduce their wait time? Uh, easy referral. So if you go into a hospital, you are mostly referred into multiple departments. So how do we make that referral very easy? And we are a very cost or money sensitive country. So how do you, reduce the pathway for cost reduction? Simplifying that. So there is one more term called as assisted living technologies, where it basically, kind of finds its application is in home healthcare planning, especially for elderly, where data and analytic based care, validation, and chronic disease management is done. So, for example, all kind of chronic diseases for which a patient may not like to visit hospital regularly and still, can be taken care of, monitored, and surveillance is done and instantly connected with the doctor with the click of their, phone is again something picking up very fast. A lot of elderly people, I have seen NRIs who are using these technologies getting associated with, very advanced hospitals so that they can monitor their parents sitting in a foreign country and seeing how their parents are doing. The issue is there are a lot of, hospitals and companies who are working in this, but due to lack of awareness, and lack of openly being able to talk about these kinds of products, a lot of people are not aware about it. And so awareness, really we need to really work on the awareness part of entire system.
That is true. I do agree to this कि awareness के लिए बहुत कुछ करना है. And I believe कि हमने जो ये space किया है, this is one of the ways to make people aware about it. Moving on to the next segment, Nivedita, this is something that we have recently started with the space, which is called rapid fire round. Okay, तो हम अपने guest के साथ एक छोटा सा rapid fire round play करते हैं, where we ask them fun questions and we try to get the answers from.
Yeah,
So, are
sure.
you ready?
Yes, yes.
Okay. So,
I'll
first
try to
question
be
is,
as funny as possible.
okay, you just have to be honest, and
Yeah,
we'll take the funny part, like हमारा जिम्मेदारी है वो. ठीक है. So,
sure.
what's your favorite drink?
um so yeah, I think that would
You
be,
have to
since
be
I have a
fast,
cup.
Nivedita. Yeah,
uh
go ahead.
I think that would be, glass of juice.
Okay. So, how do you start your day? Like, what do you do first thing in the morning?
I start my day thinking about, the number of people I have to prove them wrong. Yeah.
Oh my
And
God.
how I have
Okay.
to prove them wrong.
Okay. That's a very different answer. I was
I
not
motivate
expecting this.
myself.
But it's amazing, to be honest. It makes sense, right? Yeah. So आप ऐसे सोच के सोते हो कि इसको प्रूव करना है. How do you सुबह कैसे याद रहता है? Like मेरा
So, I have this list of things where I want to improve myself. Not people really, it can be circumstances where I want to perform better, improve myself. Yeah, so that would be one thing.
yes. Okay. It makes sense. Okay. So who is your inspiration and why?
So I have many inspirations in my life. Starting, so yeah, I think if in the work sector you say, I'm very much impressed by Indra Nui and her way of work and, uh, work and personal life balance, the way she does. So that really inspires me.
That's great. And okay, summer or winter?
Winter, yeah.
Okay. And what is something new happening in your life right now?
So yes, so So I am going to very excited to tell you all that I'm mostly reached by a lot of you know curious people who want to understand about healthcare AI and digital health. So I'm going to launch my channel very soon, a YouTube channel about all the questions that I usually get about people, and I'm going to try to talk about my life experiences, how I learned, how I started my career into digital health, and how you can start your career into digital health. What are the challenges? How you're going to benefit? Apart from that, exactly, what is digital health? What its future in India? Uh, what will be the job scenarios going 5 years from now? That will, that will be mostly revolve around AI and healthcare, and a lot of exciting things about this domain. And so I'm going to start the channel very soon, and I've been working on that project. So I would request all of you to, please look forward to it and do support me.
Absolutely, absolutely. And ये आपका ट्विटर का भी फर्स्ट स्पेस है, राइट?
Yes, yes.
Okay, so how is the this experience like? Do you find it different from other applications? I'm sure you have used other applications like YouTube, of course, and LinkedIn तो है ही आपका presence. But Twitter is a
Yeah.
very different kind of a platform. But how
Yes.
is your first impression about this platform?
So, the first I'd like to thank you that, you invited me for this space, and that kind of motivated me to, start my Twitter journey. One trend is there out over there that people want to understand more by using less words. So, uh, that art of giving out your message with less words as much as possible is definitely challenging but very interesting. And Twitter is so powerful, right? We can connect with anybody we want and give our opinions in that way. Yes, absolutely, and I'm looking forward to being a regular user here.
I remember when I started, uh, I posted something and it was about Naval Ravikant and he liked the tweet. So I was like, oh my god, this platform is amazing and it's very powerful. I mean,
Very
he
powerful.
just saw my tweet. Can you believe it? So that was something very big for me and I realized कि this platform has a lot of potential and आगे जाके भी बहुत कुछ होने वाला है about this thing. Now the next rapid fire question जो मैं पूछने वाला हूँ, I'm gonna ask all three of you,
Sorry.
Richa, Shruti included. ठीक है, आपको क्विकली आंसर करना है कि what is your favorite number and why. Starting with you, Nivedita.
Number. Okay, my favorite number is 9 because it's also my birth number, and and we have 9 planets, right? Also because 9 is such a core part to a lot of things that we do in our life. Like a mother has a baby for 9 months, so and also my birth date is 9. So I think this number is very lucky for me as well. So yeah, that would be 9.
Oh, that does make sense. Okay, next is Shruti. Shruti, favorite number and why.
My favorite number is one. My month, birth month is October. So, like, boils down to one. That is the only reason.
एक मिनट, अक्टूबर 1 है कैसे, मतलब वो 10 वाला 1?
Yeah, right.
ओके ठीक है, ओके, ठीक है, ठीक है। रिचा, नेक्स्ट इज यू, फेवरेट नंबर।
बोलना था, मेरे को रीजन नहीं पता था, पर अब श्रुति ने बता दिया रीजन। मेरा जनवरी बर्थडे आता है ना, तो मेरा भी रीजन पता नहीं था मुझे, बट आई डोंट
नहीं,
नो व्हाई आई
तुम्हारा
लाइक
फिर
वन
जीरो
सो
वन
मच।
हुआ ना रिचा, ऐसा कैसे?
नहीं नहीं, अरे आई लाइक वन यार, आई मीन वन इज लाइक द फर्स्ट वर्ड, लाइक फर्स्ट नंबर, आई लाइक बीइंग ऑन द टॉप, आई लाइक बीइंग फर्स्ट
Great,
पर्सन,
great, great,
वन
Richa.
गुड
High
फॉर मी।
five.
ओके, फाइन, ग्रेट, ठीक है। ओके, नेक्स्ट क्वेश्चन इज, आई विल स्टार्ट विद रिचा दिस टाइम, कि योर फेवरेट केक फ्लेवर।
चॉकलेट ऑलवेज गोज चॉकलेट।
ओके, नेक्स्ट इज श्रुति, फेवरेट केक फ्लेवर।
I don't eat cake, Kalyan.
Exactly.
ओ माय गॉड, डॉक्टर निवेदिता को भी शॉक लग गया यहाँ पे, ये क्या हो रहा है ये?
नहीं नहीं आया मुझे शौक नहीं लगा आई एम विद हर ओनली
ओके,
आई डोंट लाइक
ओके,
केक आई एम अ
Thank you, Nivedita.
हार्डकोर इंडियन स्वीट्स आई वुड
But
ऑलवेज
you,
प्रिफर इंडियन स्वीट्स
Amazing,
ओके ठीक
Nivedita.
है, फेवरेट
High
स्वीट
five.
बता दीजिए.
But Kalyan, we have this option of asking the same question back to host as well.
यस, फेवरेट. ओके, फ्लेवर तो मैं कहूँगा कि आई लाइक वो कॉफ़ी वाला समथिंग, सो बिग
Great.
टाइम कॉफ़ी वाला. तो दैट इज़ देयर. तो विच
Again,
स्वीट इफ यू वांट.
the reason is because of productivity, क्योंकि coffee वाला increase.
यस एग्जैक्टली, इसीलिए मेरा हर चीज़ प्रोडक्टिविटी से लिंक्ड है. ट्रू. Okay, so we didn't ask Nivedita about which sweets he likes the most. So which one is it?
Yeah. So yeah, I'm spoiled for sweets. Yeah, anytime rasgulla.
Okay,
So
okay.
we call it as, Roshogulla in
Bengali.
Kolkata.
Yes. Have you been to Kolkata?
So my hometown, like I've been born and brought up in Kolkata. But like my ancestry is from North India, uh, probably from Uttaranchal side. But we have been staying in Kolkata for my all my life mostly, and then I shifted to South India in
Oh,
Hyderabad.
that's great. Actually, मैं उड़ीसा का हूँ, and I remember our fight about the रसगुल्ला कहाँ से originate हुआ है. So, so that was there. Yeah. Okay. So, moving on, we'll ask you the next question, and the next question is like, uh, basically, I want to know कि doctors and patient का क्या profit होने वाला है while using this AI technology. What are they gonna
Yeah.
get out of it? Yeah.
So again, man, I'll be saying from the experience that I've had my life, man, how much I've practiced. Uh, awareness is a very big issue. So, if I talk on data, uh, the National Survey of India says that Indian literacy is 73%, right? So, 73% of Indians do know how to read and write. Surprisingly, when you talk about health literacy, so what is health literacy? It is so the definition is like obtain, read, understand healthcare information. अगर आप बहुत casual language में बोलोगे, it's about understanding your body. So you understand where is your lungs. You understand that are you showing early signs of heart attack? How do you feel in the evening? If so your body tells you a lot of symptoms before you have a heart attack. I know there's a lot of news around social media that says suddenly that person has died. I have a contradictory, thought process to it. Our body has a lot of signals to give us. But in India, only 40% of people know about their bodies. They do not even know how to understand those first early symptoms of any kind of big issues. If you even see cancer patients, they most of the time go to a doctor at a very advanced stages of cancer. It's not that their body was not giving them a signal of of an uncomfortness, or although there was pain. The problem is the pain. So when they feel the pain which gets unbearable after popping in all those paracetamols, they start feeling, okay, I think something is wrong, or they suddenly faint. So in India, the health literacy is very low. I come from a medical industry, and I have realized that our body gives a lot of signs and symptoms at a very early stage of a disease. But as a common individuals, we do not know how to track it. If we would have known it, we could have gone to doctor at an earlier stage. We would avoid all the, all those long lines of wait, all those reckless. Yeah, of course, there are a lot of emergency conditions also. I'm not talking about that. You save a lot of money because you are reaching in a very early stage. You get your treatment, you find the solution. So I'm a stern believer of this. Also, one more issue is since there is lack of human experts in the industry, AI can actually help solve the problem. Also, in areas where, uh, can you hear me?
Yes, Nivedita.
Yes, we can.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. So basically, we want to save time. We want to do early diagnosis, cost-effective way. We will help save a lot of, out-of-pocket expenses. So in India, 60% of the expenses people do when they visit a healthcare industry, it's actually out of pocket. So they are mostly not taking even any insurance for it. So we are because it's the mindset of we Indians that we think हमें तो कुछ नहीं होगा, right? So we kind of leave a lot of things on कि ठीक है, we'll see, we delay. So yeah, that's because of primarily because हमें उतना education नहीं मिलता कि what things we should prioritize in our life. Health is a very big priority. Uh, Non-invasive ways, like I have said, uh, technology can definitely help. And yeah, so these would be, some of the points I feel that should be taken care.
Yeah, I totally agree with you. There are points, and it was like very insightful. Like before going to the next question, I want Nikita. Nikita, do you have something to say? Yeah, you raised your hand. Yeah, please go ahead.
Hi, hi. Hello, Dr. Nivedita. Hi, Kalyan,
Hi.
Richa, Shruti.
Hi, Nikita.
So on spaces, I know we cannot hear, we cannot see each other, but when you said your body gives symptoms, or when you're getting a heart attack, I actually jumped off my bed. And that is, so true. So people usually delay thinking that, okay, maybe, this is just happening. But actually, if we had proper systems, if we had something, a watch or something that could tell you, okay, no, this is, ischemic heart attack is going to be there. You have 30 minutes, you can go to the hospital, get checked, and get, cured. That
Mm,
is how, we could save a lot of patients. And also, you said about invasive techniques. Well, we've come a long way, right? I mean, a decade ago, there used to be a full-on open surgery hernia procedures, kidney
yes.
stone procedures. Now, at least there's some improvement there. Now non-invasive technique has come into procedure, and also doctors are, getting into this. Doctors that are, you used to earlier. I mean, there are doctors that have that conditional system. No, the traditional procedure is better than the new technology. Those doctors have now adopted this new technology and they are going ahead with it. So that is a huge win for the healthcare system.
Yes.
Uh, Doctor, I wanted to ask you, what are the current challenges and how are people taking AI as, a means? And also,
Mhm.
how do you use AI for API production or detection? I'm very curious to know the API part. So, can we start with that?
Sorry, I didn't get you. API? What
Yeah.
is API?
No,
What
it
is
was
API?
on
Application
active.
interface. Okay.
Okay,
Uh,
okay. Application interface. So,
I'm just talking about the software part of it. I don't know. कुछ और API है क्या?
नहीं
नहीं, so
API
active
integration होता है.
pharmaceutical
Okay, sorry.
ingredient is API. You know how it could, like you said, it was used in drug discovery and all those procedure. How can we use AI in those streams of line?
So, so there are multiple verticals of AI prediction. So I was more into into healthcare. Drug discovery basically works around multiple areas where you study how a drug interacts with each other. So how is that, how can I tell you in a very layman's term is if you see a lot of people who come to a doctor, they might have, pre-existing conditions. Like sometimes a lot of people's kidney is not very strong. So what kind of painkiller that must be prescribed to this patient so that his kidneys do not fail? There has been cases of medical error where a doctor or a hospital, without analyzing the status, the health of the kidney of a patient, that could probably be because it was an emergency case and they administered painkillers and the patient died due to kidney failure. So AI has finding a lot of application in research side of drug discovery, where we are trying to understand drug interactions. That is, how two drugs, when given in a body, can react, and what
Yeah,
kind of side effects
pharmacodynamics.
come. Yeah, how side effects can come. There is also called as different kinds of compliances that needs to be followed. So I'm not
Definitely.
from that industry, but I have seen that there are majorly two things where this AI based uh, application is coming up. One is this drug interactions, and drug distillation processes and with associated trials. So when a drug comes into a market, we have to do the distillation at various levels. So
Got it.
if you see all those organic drugs who usually come at a very cheaper price,
Yeah,
they
the
are a bit
crude
less
ones. Yeah,
distilled. Yeah, and the more distilled and precise it is, it will be a bit more expensive. So again, AI is also being utilized into such scenarios. I have come across these two things very recently, actually. So yeah, that would be my answer.
definitely great. Also, what do you see are the challenges that your company or any AI startup is facing right now? Are people openly accepting it? And what do you think are the grassroots level challenges that you have to face on everyday basis?
So as a startup, you're asking me, or you're asking as a adoption side of the story, adoption of the solution
Both,
in public.
both, both.
Okay. So as a startup, the biggest challenge is, um, understanding the problem that, so I'll share our journey. So we started with the problem of awareness, where we saw that there was not enough portable solutions that can be carried out to remote areas to do basic screening of oral health for oral cancer, cataract, which is so prevalent in the country. We tried and we sat and we realized that these a lot of these people either who have a cataract, so we work in two spaces, oral health and eye health. Cataract is a very major issue in our country and even globally. It's one of the biggest reasons for avoidable blindness. Oral cancer, which is very much promoted, as terms of a social initiative in cinemas. If you see people tell you that don't smoke or don't, oral cancer is again a leading cause of death, unproductive, livelihood. Then, so if you, there's a concept called as disease burden in healthcare. So, how does a government prioritize the diseases it wants to invest its resources on? It happens by doing a grand survey, big survey that happens, and it tries to understand what kind of diseases hugely impacted people, financially, economically, physically, caused death, caused mental trauma, caused psychological damage. So there is a huge list out of it. Cataract and oral cancer are one of the top 10. You can say they come in top 10 of those kind of diseases where people lose their blindness because they did not know they have a cataract. All they thought is, okay, probably I need glasses. As I grow old, I need glasses. So I'm just going to, go to my local shop store and just consult my optometrist. I'm not going to consult a doctor because that would be expensive. And then a lot of people in rural India, they don't even have access to an expert ophthalmologist. They keep, wearing glasses without consulting a doctor. And suddenly the cataract fully develops and they go blind the rest of their life. In oral cancer, a lot of people are not aware that gutka and betel nut chewing is such a big issue. It has a direct correlation to oral cancer. When you have oral cancer, most of the part of your mouth is removed, and for rest of your life, you have to, deal with a lot of psychological issues due to because your confidence get low. You don't feel you don't look good, or you can't chew your food properly, right? So that kind of problems happen. Uh, so our area was how do we, create such solutions that can screen people. The first challenge that I have faced is the attitude to adopt it. I feel that a lot of people are very stagnant with their thought processes. They're a bit slow in adoption, but luckily, once they saw that we are creating a good value, adoption happened. But initially, the adoption rate was very slow as a startup. Again, managing, learning. So we have to learn very fast. We have to access the issue as soon as possible. When you are in healthcare, you have to deal with multiple stakeholders. You have to deal with doctors. You have to deal with the hospitals. So hospitals are mostly run by MBA and marketing team. Then there is this doctors who mostly do with the treatment. Then there are patients who have no idea what they're doing. So, coordinating the three systems, improving your learning as quick as fast as possible. So all this typical product market fit, you can say, where you try to analyze the direct fit of the product into the market. Then understanding the accuracy. So if you have an AI solution, uh, you have to monitor the solution for a really long time. It's not like any other technology, because AI learns just like a human mind. So if a kid is in KG, he will learn and then he goes to the next class, then he goes to the next class. Similarly, AI keeps on improving. So you have to keep on retraining. That would be on the startup side. On the adoption side, I would say, yeah, the attitude was one issue I faced. I We also faced that, even though this was solving a lot of problems, uh, there is this trust issue that came. So people have this idea that I am only going to trust a doctor. I'm not going to trust a technology, right? So that trust we had to win. Trust and care, that humanly empathy is very important in healthcare. That's why we call it healthcare. We don't call it health business. We call it healthcare because you need to give care, you need to show empathy to win the trust. And lastly is being able to tell people that, convincing people that, see, this disease has been detected, don't ignore it, right? Seek the treatment as soon as possible. So a lot of counseling needs to be given. And so this would be the from perspective of, I'm the medical representative. I will give you the perspective from the medical side. Uh, there might be technical challenges, there can be sales challenges, business challenges, but I would be able to tell you my side of the story. Yeah.
Great, great. Thank you. Also, where you said there is, stagnant mindset, I mean, I could relate. If I could share my side of the story, if you guys allow. Uh,
Yeah, please, please.
So I did my internship. While I was doing my internship, I came across. So I was doing my internship for cancer, breast and ovarian cancer, where I met a lot of patients, oncologists and pharmacists, and all, consumer, customer, all three pillars of the healthcare. So what I could find was in rural places, there was this predisposed thought process that if cancer has happened to me, that is because of my my karma, or my this has happened to me because I deserve this disease, and I should, I would not go for a procedure, I'll not go for surgery, I'll not go for
Mhm.
chemo, and I'll accept it, and this is what God wants. And
Yeah.
that was very shocking to see, because even though I live in Mumbai, uh, tier 1 city, right,
Yeah.
there are still places where I could find that there was so much of there was no awareness, first of all. Also,
Mm.
I could find that, in tier 1 cities, in proper metropolitan areas of the city, women didn't know how to check for breast cancer. They didn't know what screening means. So that is where AI is going to, come into picture, where there is a awareness. Secondly, it tells you, how to do it, what to do it, and when to do it. And diagnosis, early diagnosis, like you said, that is going to be phenomenal. And because our healthcare system has so many gaps, and because it is so broken, I think there's so many opportunities in this industry. I think this is going to be the next IT for sure.
Absolutely. So, there is a concept we call in healthcare called as primary delay. So, there are different
Definitely,
kinds of
yeah.
delay when a patient visits,
Yeah,
hospital, that it can be related to agar koi emergency hai, then they go. There is a
yeah.
concept called as primary
Primary
delay,
delay, yeah.
which actually is mostly associated with the psychology of the patient, where he doesn't feel that I should go, even he's facing the issues, but he's not aware of the issue, and that delay is the leading cause of all the emergencies that is happening in the world today.
Definitely.
And so this has been a fact, ill-fated. Cancer is a curse.
Yeah.
or
It's
these,
very
okay, it's okay.
heartbreaking to see all that. Yeah.
Yeah. So yeah, this is definitely we have to, think about it.
Yeah. And this
Thank
has
you,
a huge scope for sure.
Absolutely.
thank you, Nivedita, for answering this question, and thank you, Nikita, for asking these questions and contributing it into the space. Also, all the
Thank
fellow
you.
listeners, feel free to drop all the questions you have in your mind. Sub comments kar do. We have doctor to answer all your queries, and she's answering wonderfully. So if you have any questions, please drop it down. And yeah, matlab, when you said that cancer and all is very common nowadays, it reminds me of heart attack. Even people of age 23, 24, 25 are very in that circle of getting heart attacks,
Mm.
and it is like very scary nowadays to see all those things. But then moving forward to next question, I want to know this one thing, and I'm very curious about it. Do you think that someday AI can replace doctors or clinics? I mean, what are your thoughts on it? Can is AI that powerful to replace doctors?
Yeah, so I'll tell you there are two sides of story to it. What I mostly see, is I've seen some people say that AI will replace doctors. Then there are some people who say no, doctors will replace AI, right? So these are two contradictory statement that comes. The issue is the people who comment that AI will replace doctors, they are not doctors themselves. They don't have any healthcare background. They are pure non-healthcare background people, so they do not know what is healthcare industry, and hence they kind of give this kind of statements. And these statements, when they come on a front page of a newspaper, so I have seen some healthcare industry, this AI company startups leaders giving such big comments that AI will replace doctors, or AI is going to replace workforces. These kind of comments on front page of a newspaper. But when you see the background of these people, so you need to have a critical thinking, right? Have some thinking, like who are these people who are commenting such things? When you see they have literally no healthcare background, they have never worked with patients, they have never worked in the industry. Then there are people like doctors who say, no, doctors will be doctors. AI, we don't need AI. We are fine. AI will replace us. AI is nonsense. AI is doing inaccurate things. For these doctors, they have never worked with technology. So in India, more than 80% of doctors are not even aware what kind of innovations are coming up in the healthcare industry. So all the leading healthcare innovations in the industry are being led by a non-medico, right? Who are purely doing business, and they are running successful things, like they're even helping people, they are employing people. That is a separate thing. The issue, so where I have come out to be is I am into this industry. I have a healthcare background. I am into the AI industry. And I would say that doctors need to use AI. Logic is simple. If you see even the 3 H system, which was, the Stone Age, the Bronze Age, Iron Age, people are called a Stone Age because they were using stone as their equipment. So they were Stone Age. When you are in a bronze, you use, instruments made out of bronze. And so we know you are a Bronze Age person. We are in Iron Age. And eventually we are moving towards, modernization. We are moving towards AI adoption. So this is something we have to accept it, that this is coming in the way. How, and this is going to help us. This will create a lot of employment. It's going to make a patient's life easy. It's not going to replace anybody. It's just that, they say the statement, like I come across this statement that doctors using AI will replace doctors not using AI. And the logic is similar. We have to, move forward with advancing technology, with modernization, and this is going to be a part of our practice. So yeah, I hope that answers your question.
Yes,
Yes,
Nivedita.
it's amazing.
Yeah. Thank you, Nivedita, for answering this. Nivedita, talking about the AI or healthcare in general, the data that we use in healthcare, uh, what is that, and what are certain concerns around this we have in this segment?
So, do we have any doctors in the meeting, in the listeners group? if any. Okay. So, I'll tell you the problem in healthcare industry is, so for example, even I am sure you have observed this. If you go to a private clinic, the doctor will, give you a prescription. He'll give you a set of, pages to carry. Sometimes maybe a PDF or a e-doc. This information you have to carry with yourself for your whole life. And if you decide to change your doctor, you have to again take that entire data that you have to the next clinic. Uh, by chance, what if you lose your phone or you lose those documents? Again, you have to go to the doctor. Sometimes, people visiting the same doctor after maybe 3 years, and they say that, see, I have lost my the file that you gave me. Can you please retrieve that data from your laptop? They don't even have that access because we are not storing our patients' data. In coming 10 years, patients' data will be the most valuable thing, right? Hello? Can you hear me?
Yes, we
Am I
can.
audible? Okay,
Yeah,
okay.
you are
Suddenly,
completely.
sure. So, in healthcare industry, data is very much unorganized. So, how we see data is unorganized. Basically, for example, I have a 50-year-old person who is who has blood pressure, who has diabetes. Uh, uh, he has a family history of a similar thing. So, can I, by any chance, use predictive analytics to understand if this person has chances of having a heart attack in next 10 months? Can I do that? Is it possible? So, if I have a technology, something like that, so I have all this data of the patient, and I try to understand what can I predict for this person in next 2 to 3 months. Will that not be helpful for a patient? Will that not be helpful for a healthcare industry that can, pre-plan and understand the disease burden? Or at least we can say that, okay, you are 50 years old. For example, there is a mother and a father who are both diabetic and BP. So usually, if your mother and father both are having some chronic condition, there is a good chance that even your children will have that issue. So, can we tell the parents that, see, since both of you are diabetic, there is a high risk your child will have diabetes when they get, 30 plus, or maybe sometimes even people are getting 25. Will that not help the parents to plan their diet, their lifestyle, take constant engagement with the provider to help prevent the disease in their children? Right? So this issue is so simple, but the problem is we do not store any of the patient's data to create some insights and some information out of it. I know a patient is 30 years old, but how do I create an information out of it? That is an issue. Apart from that, this can really help us to make the decision very faster. So clinical data falls into, six major types. One is electronic health records. Then there is this administrative data. There is claims data related to health insurance. So you need this data to, claim your insurance. There is patient registries that kind of registers the diseases that you have. There are health surveys that happens, surveys to understand disease probability, how big a problem that disease is in that area. And lastly, clinical trial data. So all the data that revolves around testing of devices, testing of drugs, and similar other studies comes under clinical data. One of the best ways to, there's a lot of issues about privacy of such data. How do we deal with the privacy if you're coming from a startup industry? How do you make sure you don't get into uh, leakage of privacy? So if you see in AIMS recently, there was an entire leakage of all the patients' data because they didn't have a good security system. And so a hospital like AIMS, considered as India's one of the best, is not is having this data theft suddenly out of nowhere and servers down for weeks. So how do we avoid such situation? Is firstly, since I come from the industry and I've experienced this issue. First is anonymization of data. That is, you make it non-identify known. So what you do is when you capture certain informations of the information of the patient's data, you kind of mask certain part of it called as non-identifiable data, right? Where you strip off some data elements that affirmatively, identify an individual, and that which reasonably, cannot be used to identify an individual either. So when you store that, you kind of have those systems, common words like encryption, authentication, that establishing claims about of the subject in true and authentic, that is required. You need to keep your data encrypted, which is again, I think, that is preventing any kind of unauthorized access to sensitive data. Continuous monitoring is also very important. So I would say these two things can really help us in data breach.
Thank you, Nivedita, for answering this.
Thank you so much, Nivedita. So we'll wind up this, but just last question that I have, and also if anybody from the audience wants to ask question to Dr. Nivedita, you can come up and you can ask. We're just gonna take the last question, and the last question is, what is UHI, and how will it change the healthcare ecosystem in digital health?
Sure. So, the problems that are discussed within the in our Indian ecosystem in the healthcare. Uh, so it's just going to solve all of these issues one by one. UHI stands for Unified Health Interference. That is going to provide access to healthcare services digitally under one roof. So, what is basically is going to do is, if I say it like, UHI will become as successful as UPI that we use for payments, right? So it would go to that level. Uh, uh, if I put it up straight, it would be like, also for startups and new solution providers to, get integrated with UHIs. So UHIs basically provide unique IDs to the patient. And wherever you go in the world, you will know that your data is being stored in one centralized, system, and you don't have to carry your reports. If you're in emergency, for example, you are a road accident patient, and people, the local people help you and, take you to the hospital. And in case they have no idea if you are a diabetic, they have no idea whether you had a recent, heart surgery, because you don't carry your reports, right? So in that cases, when we have a UHI, which has been, unique identifiable, patient ID that will be given to you. So every person will have a unique patient ID with themselves. Just by seeing your name, somebody can enter that in the system, and they will have the entire history of your drugs that you have taken, hospitals that you have visited, vaccinations that you have taken, appointments pending, surgeries that you have done. And when this thing comes, so, for example, you met an accident and you were unconscious, you were unable to tell the patient your problem, or you need an emergency blood transfusion and people do not know what is your blood group. In this way, an UHI system will very much be helpful for the patients. That is a patient perspective. There is a doctor's perspective as well. Uh, for us to know who is an authentic doctor, right? So all the doctors will also need to register their IDs, give the location of the clinic. So we there's a lot of quackery that is followed, in Indian healthcare system. What is quackery basically here? Not very qualified doctors who are qualified by regulatory authorities practice openly in our country. This is a very, a practice that has been happening since, ages, absolutely illegal. It has a lot of risk. So there was a news where a quack, used vaccines, same vaccine, same injection basically, and without sterilizing it, or so usually injections are disposable. He did
Yes,
not
yes,
dispose it, and he, used it on different people to
yes.
do, to do blood testing, right? and he accidentally infected the entire village with HIV. So when these issues come, when we have a UHI system, people know who am I going to? Has he been approved by the regulatory body of the country? Where is his location? How should I go? So this misinformation will be tackled very nicely, and this is one of the best applications I'm seeing. So these are one of the one applications, and of course digitization. Digitization will come mainstream. There was this recent launch of 5G services by Modi government, and there was a huge thing about how do we, integrate digital health services to 5G so that care is provided. And there will be an app that will enable patients to connect with the doctors of their choice through that app. And they will share their health information, receive health reports. So yeah, this is some of the things, and will very soon that it will be deployed in the country.
That is great. Thank you so much, Nivedita, for answering that. And we have Bhuvi with us and Mohit as well. So, Bhuvi, yeah, go ahead. Ask your question.
Yeah. Am I audible?
Yes, you
Yeah.
are.
Yeah. Thank you for the opportunity. It was a great space.
Bhuvi, can you be little louder? बहुत धीरे आवाज आ रही है.
Yeah.
Oh,
Is this better?
yes, much better. Yeah.
Okay. Uh, so my question is, so there are a lot of unformatted, hard-coded reports, right? As in from many years. So those will be very hard to convert into formatted, let's say, soft copies, which later can be processed into an NLP model. So my
Mm.
question is, like personally, I had faced a challenge like more than I mean training an NLP model. The harder challenge was like reading them automate like an OCR, platform. So did you
Mm.
face similar challenges? If yes, like how did you tackle the OCR part? Because it's very unformatted and there will be there is no particular format if you want to apply one solution to all the types of data set out there.
Got it. So, Bhuvi, you have a AI. Are you working in healthcare AI projects?
Yeah, I
Like,
worked before. Yeah.
so I'll tell you in healthcare, this is not like classifying dogs and cats. Okay, so there is a very typical example we give when we are talking about AI training is being able to classify a dog from a cat. In healthcare data, there is a huge amount of intra-observer variability. So for example, a patient who's going to doctor one, the doctor one might give a set of information about the patient, which might be a bit different from doctor two. Now, when we take this information and we put it on a file or a format, and you try to make sense out of it, there will be a lot of variability from what doctor one has said from doctor two. So how do we solve this issue? In AI, in healthcare AI, one of the biggest places where you kind of you need experts, you need to invest a lot of time is called as data strategy. How do you strategize the data in terms that you are able to extract valuable information out of it, remove all the garbage? So when you compare a medical data, it's very much variable. It's very much variable. You will not find patterns easily. The model will not understand the patterns easily. So what you need to do is we need to build a medical logic around it. This is where actually a doctor can help you. So what I suggest is you take all the data, sit with the doctors, and you ask them what are the things that is going common in all the data. So there will be a pattern. So a patient A will have some things that will be very much similar to patient B. So when you are training an AI model, first target should be to understand the repeatability of the information that you're trying to extract, right? You cannot extract once you understand this, pattern of repeatability. What kind of information is repeating in one data to the other? The medical information, basically, I'm talking about the repeatability of the medical information. You have to take that and you have to start training your AI on that. Once you see some results you have achieved, go to the second level of information. Don't try to take a lot of things together. One of the biggest mistakes is we cannot train the AI as good as a doctor, right? A doctor can grasp a lot of information and give a diagnosis. So a doctor can take into more than 180 conditions, right? To give a diagnosis that, okay, this is your diagnosis, right? But for an AI, we have to go after one after the other, one information after the other. We have to be slow with it because it is it's just an LKG student. Ideally, to, kind of, we call it to tackle this inter-observer variability, what we do is we make three doctors sit on the data and we take what the majority is saying about that patient or about that data. And we take that as the, benchmark for training our AI. So we follow the rule of three. So does that answer your question?
Yes, but like there was first part, which my question is like in many local areas, there will not be any soft copy, as in they don't record that in computer in a document or
Yeah,
anything.
that is a
The
very big.
Yeah, there will be handwritten records. So my question is there any so the solution to that is some kind of OCR, right? Optical character recognition. But the problem what I faced was there is no like a proper OCR model which applies which can read all these formats which are variable from one data set to another, because each of the hospital used to like before it used to record in different kind of formats, so that is kind of a challenge.
So you're asking me, so yeah, that is a challenge because there are two sides of the story. One is these devices, how are we using these devices? And also, see, the core part is data. The data is very scattered in healthcare. Most of the data is not even recorded. So even if you bring all these technologies to read and go through the data, you will not be able to get all the data because it's not being stored properly in a digitized format. Most of the data is mostly handwritten. So we have to, we have to look into the challenges from both the sides. It's a, two so two-sided swords. So we have to look at both of the sides. The problem is at actually both of the sides, and we have to look into it how we can, start creating awareness to people to digitize the data so that it's easier for such technologies to be able to, go through it.
Yeah, yeah, got it. Yeah, thank you.
Sure.
So let me done with the space. किसी के पास कोई और questions है तो
मैं ये पूछना चाहता हूँ आप किस बारे में बात कर रहे हो? मुझे इंग्लिश नहीं आती है।
हम लोग AI आर्टिफिशियल इंटेलिजेंस और मेरा मेरा वॉइस एको हो रहा है.
यस, सो बेसिकली मोहित हम लोग आर्टिफिशियल इंटेलिजेंस की बात कर रहे थे, हाउ इट इज गोना इम्पैक्ट इन द हेल्थ केयर वाला सेगमेंट में वैसे.
आप वो तो वैसे जो कोरोना के बारे में बात कर रहे हैं?
मतलब हेल्थ केयर में कैसे इम्पैक्ट करेगा उसके बारे में, कोरोना नहीं बट ऐसे ही जनरली मेडिकल में कैसे आर्टिफिशियल इंटेलिजेंस का क्या रोल होगा वो.
ठीक है।
चलो ठीक है. सो थैंक यू सो मच निवेदिता फॉर आंसरिंग ऑल द क्वेश्चंस. आई थिंक वी आर डन विद ऑल द क्वेश्चंस. श्रुति, यू वांट टू टेक दिस अप?
Yes, definitely, Kalyan. Thank you so much, Nivedita. I was I was listening to all the answers that you were giving, and you were explaining so wonderfully. This topic was very new to me, and I learned a lot. And I believe all of us did today. So thank you so much for joining us today. And I would like to thank all the audience, also all the speakers and listeners. Thank you so much for being an engaged audience. And I had a great time co-hosting this space with Kalan and Richa. And I'm very thankful for Nivedita for taking time out
It's-
from her busy schedule and joining us today for this space. So thanks a lot, Nivedita.
Thank you, thank you, Kalyan, Richa, and Shruti for this
Especially when you
opportunity.
were so unwell and still you took some time out and joined us.
Yeah, so, I would really say that we are coming up with so much, intelligent podcast shows. People need to talk about more about it. And thank you so much for, creating awareness about this technology, inviting me. It was a pleasure. So thank you so much.
Actually, we are just trying our. We only recently started this space series, and we are also trying to learn and understand stuff which is going on around us. So this is something very new to us also. We are also learning and trying to grow every other day while supporting each other, learning from our peer groups and everybody. And then we are always on a lookout for special guests like you who are experts in their niche, their fields, and who can join us. So it is very amazing, like hosting such spaces with people like you with us. So thanks a lot, Nivedita.
Thank you so much.
ऑल्सो निवेदिता, वी वुड लाइक टू नो, ये पीछे कौन सा डॉगी है? ये आपका डॉगी है या स्ट्रीट डॉग है?
Yeah, it's actually my doggy. I have
ओके.
rescued him. I
ओह.
so yeah, he was adopted actually, successfully adopted,
Wow.
but his friend has actually gone for some emergency, so he gave me back. He doesn't like to be on leash. He's usually, all around
हम्म.
roaming. So since I had the interview, I had to put a
ओके.
leash on him.
बेचारा, वो बेचारा इंटरव्यू का सजा वो क्यों झेल रहा है? ओके, ठीक है. ओके, ओके.
Okay, guys. So actually, I'm an animal lover. So I do a lot of, animal rescues and social things associated to animals. So,
That's great.
maybe next time you talk to me, I might be having some cats
Oh
or
wow.
cows
And
around.
you should ask रिचा के पास कितने डॉग्स है. रिचा
Oh,
हैज
wow.
लाइक, रिचा थोड़ा बताओ कितने कुत्ते हैं आपके पास?
अभी तो मैं काउंट भूल गई हूँ. 5. Now I have 5. I have 2 dogs, 3 puppies, and 3 cats.
Wow. Oh my God. I need to take some lessons from you how to manage, how to manage animals.
No, एक्चुअली वो लेसन्स ना मेरे पापा को होना चाहिए, बिकॉज़ ही इज़ द वन, वो पूरा टाइम वो कैट्स, डॉग्स के पीछे भागते रहते हैं. एंड इन फैक्ट आज पापा ने उनके लिए वो कैल्शियम बोन होता है ना, वो ऑर्डर किया. एंड दे आर स्ट्रीट डॉग्स नाउ. 3 ऑफ देम, 3 पपीज़ आर स्ट्रीट डॉग्स. उनको नहीं पता कि हाउ टू ईट दैट. तो वो इतने छोटे-छोटे से है ना, मतलब एक मेरे हाथ जितने छोटे से, एंड वो उस कैल्शियम बोन को लेके भागते हैं. फॉर 1 आवर ऑल 3 ऑफ देम वर जस्ट फाइटिंग कि वो एक बोन कौन खाएगा. नन ऑफ देम कुड ईट इट. एंड वो बस भाग रहे हैं, एंड 1 घंटा भागे, खेल के सो गए. None of them could eat it. And they're so cute, literally so cute.
So lucky.
Yeah. And the space was great, Nivedita. Thank you so much for making time and coming here, sharing all your deep knowledge with us. And it really means a lot. We are looking forward to have more spaces with you, more these insightful spaces, more knowledgeable spaces. Thanks a lot for making time and coming here. It really means a lot.
Thank you, guys. It was so wonderful interacting with you all.
Thank you. And इसका recording is also available to everyone who wants to hear it again. The recording is available, and we will release the podcast version of it as well थोड़े time में. Thank you so much, Nivedita. And
Thank you, guys.
yeah, have a great time, and hope to see you again. I hope कि next time अगर हम ऐसा कुछ space करते हैं, then you will definitely join us again. So with this, I will end this space in 3, 2, 1. Okay. So yeah, thank you so much, guys. Thanks to
Thank you,
everyone.
thank you.
Thank you. Bye. Bye, guys. 3, 2, 1. Bye bye. Thank you for listening to us. And if you want to participate in live spaces, just follow our Twitter handles. हम ऐसे spaces हर हफ्ते करते हैं. And अगर आपको ये पसंद आया तो follow करना हमको and share this podcast. Thank you so much, and see you next week. Bye bye.